Okay, I wanted to make a video about LinkedIn and adding your publications. And when we think of publications, we may be thinking about academic publications, but there are many publications that you have, especially as a student, that you can put up there so someone who's an employer can get an idea who you are. Even if you do have academic publications, those are usually pretty dense. The employer may not have time to read those. Something like a podcast episode, blog post might be a little bit easier for them to digest. So it's a little bit hidden. So you go to add new profile section, then you actually go down to accomplishments here in your publications. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the next podcast episode, and I've been guilty of not doing this because I'm not looking for a job. So for podcast episodes, you would go to podcast, then Pharmacy Future Leaders. And this video really is, what I'm going to do is give the example of how somebody who is on a podcast episode could use this and put them into their LinkedIn. And then go down, and we'll use Anna Shields was the third person that I interviewed, and I'm connected with her on LinkedIn. So here's what you want. This is the permanent URL, and we're going to go here and put in the URL down here. And the title, I'm going to put Pharmacy Podcast. And she talked about NCPA. She talked about Kelly Ross Pharmacy, and then provider status, and she's Drake University grad, and then it's Anna Shields. Okay. Pharmacypodcast.com would be the publisher, and then the publication date. If you go to episode info, you can go down here, October 14th, 2016. So October 16th, I think, 14th, 2016. And just for speed's sake, I'll just copy this and put that as the description. But I interview Anna Shields on the Pharmacy Podcast about NCPA, Kelly Ross Pharmacy Provider Status, Drake University. And then also and the MBA program a little bit about as well. Okay. And then I add her as an author, so Anna Shields, because she was also on the podcast. And then I save it. Okay. All right. Now that was for the Pharmacy Podcast, but also let's use another publication where I was interviewed. So we'll go again to publications, and in this case, we'll do Get Social Health Podcast. So podcast on the Writers Network. And the publisher is getsocialhealth.com here. Okay. And the date I don't have, and I know it was, I want to say it was last week. So I'll put in a date for now of January 28th, and I'll fix this a little bit later. 2017. I'll add another author, Janet Kennedy. Okay. And then this is the permalink there. Okay. And you can share it here, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest. But what I want is that permanent link. And to get to that, I click on the top of the episode to get to this. Okay. And then this is the podcast episode itself with the show notes. Okay. And then I put that there. And then a description. I can use hers. She's very clever, so I like what she has to say. And then put that in there as the description, and then I save. I do want you to see this, though, because if you look back, I feel like I was in a news hole. Look at these rock stars. Mandy Bishop, who is crushing it with Aloha Health. nurse bullying expert Renee Thompson, Manny Oliveras. Great marketing tips. Then this National Inclusion Project was really both tearjerker and it was a fantastic thing that they did. Anyway, I could go on and on. Intrapreneur to Entrepreneur done rights. The Nurse Entrepreneurs, the NNBA. That's a great meeting. I think it's in Florida next year. Michelle Podlesny. And then Scientific Method in Twitter. So she has great content. So I really recommend Get Social Health. But let's get back to what we were doing. And then what I wanted to show you is, so this is my LinkedIn, and so I've got some things on there, but what I think you want is to see what a graduating student did. And Ryan Cotton's going to be on the Pharmacy Podcast here in a couple weeks. I recorded 12 episodes, in a matter of, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks, so it'll just be a little while. But he has a great LinkedIn profile, and I just want you to see what he did. So that's him, and he's got his description, but watch what he's got here. So he's got his experience, and this goes from less responsibility to significant responsibility. The education, but not just I went to this college, puts in really a lot of different things that he's done, because if you're a recruiter and you're just trying to get through this very quickly, you want to put your important stuff up top. And then endorsements that he's gotten from other people, and the accomplishments. So he's got publications as well, and then he could put Pharmacy Podcast there for publication. But you can see how it's kind of cool where you have multiple authors on a publication, and then you've got them all connected here. So just a very cool way to do it. Okay, so back to the LinkedIn profile. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful, and just give me a ring if you have any questions.